That actually gets us to the shooting of last week, to Parkland. And gets us to there because on Saturday, our fearful, our afraid president tweeted this. Quote, "Very sad that the FBI missed all of the many signals sent out by the Florida shooter. They are spending too much time trying to prove Russian collusion with the Trump campaign. There is no collusion, period," unquote. Now, remember, what I just read to you was that our president linked the shooting in Florida to the FBI and at the same time said that, the FBI is spending way too much time on investigating collusion, and there was no collusion. Again, we are back with the president invoking this shooting and then bringing back to it's all about him. And his tweet, as some of you may know, sparked many of the survivors, and I'm using that word survivor. I want to come back to that later on, but many of the shooting survivors to tweet on their own. And that includes tweets like this, and I'm going to quote several, so work with me here, please. Quote, 17 innocent people were brutally murdered at my school, a place where they should have felt safe. Their lives were gone in an instant. You are the president of the United States, and you have the audacity to put this on Russia as an excuse. I guess I should expect that from you. And then another student tweeted, quote, "My friends were brutally murdered, and you have the nerve to make this about Russia. I cannot believe this," unquote. And then another student tweeted this, "Oh my God, 17 of my classmates and friends are gone, and you have the audacity to make this about Russia." That's all in caps. "Have a damn heart. You can keep all of your fake and meaningless thoughts and prayers." Those are our students who are survivors from the shooting in Parkland, tweeting about our president, our fearful, afraid president. And when the president should be leading, when he should be meeting with the survivors, he's not doing that because of his fear of what's going on with Robert Mueller, of his fear that Mueller is getting closer, his fear that he will be found out. And in the process, he's trying to undermine the FBI and our institutions of democracy. Our students, the survivors, are having none of it. They are more honest than the adults in the room. I am here to tell you that. They are far more honest. And those students are beginning to lead. How many of you have heard Emma Gonzalez's speech that she gave on Saturday? It was a speech that called out the politicians as being beholden to the NRA. It was a speech in which she called out, she said, "No BS." My God, we saw a future leader in the making right before our eyes. Actually, I take that back. Not a future leader, a contemporary leader. Emma Gonzalez, contemporary, right now, leading us, leading adults. We have a 17-year-old woman who is more willing to speak honestly about things facing our country than most adults are willing to do. She's calling out our society for putting up with a political system that refuses to deal with an epidemic of killings and injuries. My God, just last October in Reno, 59 people killed in that shooting. Do you know the number of people injured who are going to carry scars, emotional scars for the rest of their lives? 851 people injured, wounded in that shooting. Now, Emma Gonzalez and her colleagues, her friends, her students in arms are calling for a March 24th march across America on gun control. They're terming it March for Our Lives. And they're telling us, you're either with us or against us. The Women's March, the women who have organized the Women's March, those organizers are calling for students, teachers, and allies to walk out of school on, I believe it is the 17th of March. Lastly, I need to go back to the comments I did make on Friday about tribalism and how we group and label others. You may recall that I talked about, and please understand, I do not want to minimize at all the tragedy that has happened. I do not want to blame the survivors whatsoever. But you may recall that after the shooting, the shooter had been called weird, and that I spoke about how he had found a new tribe, a tribe of haters. And Emma Gonzalez, she gave that incredible speech, but you know what she admitted in that speech? She admitted that they had ostracized the shooter, that they had done that. So we are in the middle, in the beginning of what I believe is a mid-course correction that involves guns and restrictions on the right to own or buy a gun. But that mid-course correction also has to address the causes for why people do these incredible things, these incredibly horrible things. And if we're going to talk about the causes, if we're going to talk about it, we have to talk about how it is that we treat each other. We do. This country, this great democracy of ours, it is a wonderful democracy. It is an experiment, though. We like to say, the greatest nation on the face of the earth. I believe in American individualism. I believe in our collective imagination. I believe in our work ethic. I believe in our collective heart for each other. And I will tell you, I don't believe anybody can outwork Americans or out-imagine us. But right now, we are stuck. We are stuck with politicians who will not lead. And we do need to listen to our students.